I'm Ethan, 34, just a regular guy trying to keep my head above water. Been divorced for about 2 years now from my ex, Rachel. We've got a son, Caleb, who's 8, loves dinosaurs and those goofy YouTube videos where people build stuff out of Legos. Rachel's the type who's got her life together, calendars, color-coded binders, always volunteering at Caleb's school. Me? I'm more laid back, which my folks would probably call lazy. I get things done, just not with a spreadsheet. My parents, Tom and Linda, live about 15 minutes away in a quiet little house with a yard they're too stubborn to mow themselves. They're your typical retirees, always fussing over Rachel like she's their golden child, while I'm the one they're constantly fixing. Growing up, my dad would sit me down and lecture me about every mistake I ever made, like he kept a mental tally. Ethan, it's not personal, it's just how it is, he'd say, then list off every time I forgot to take out the trash when I was 12. It's exhausting. So this whole mess started with something small, just a weird feeling I couldn't shake. It was late spring, and I had Caleb for the weekend. He's usually a chatterbox, but this time he was acting strange, like he was reading from a script. He kept saying things like, "Grandpa says you need to organize your tools better," or "Mom says you're not great at keeping the house tidy." I laughed it off, thinking maybe Rachel was just venting to him, but it stung a bit. After I dropped him back at Rachel's, my mom started texting me random stuff, funny cat videos, chain emails about living your best life. Nothing about Caleb or Rachel, which was odd because she's usually nagging me about whether I fed him too much sugar. Then, radio silence for days. I texted her, asking if she'd heard from Rachel since Caleb forgot his favorite dinosaur toy at my place. All I got back was a single, "Okay." That's it. No follow-up, nothing. A few days later, Rachel texted me, saying she was taking Caleb to visit her family for a bit, that it'd be good for him to get away. I asked where they were going, and she just said, "My folks' place." Her brother lives a couple states over, so I figured maybe they were doing a family trip. I wasn't thrilled, but I didn't want to pick a fight over a short vacation. I texted my mom again, asking if she knew anything about it, and got another one-word reply, "Fine." Now I'm starting to get annoyed, but I'm not freaking out yet. Caleb's not texting me either, which isn't like him. He usually sends me silly emojis or pictures of his toys. I call Rachel, no answer. I call my mom, straight to voicemail. My dad? He sends me a link to some article about deadbeat dads with no comment. Real classy, Dad. Then, one night, I'm scrolling through our family chat, and I see a new photo my mom posted. She's terrible with technology, always complaining about how her phone's too complicated. So I'm surprised she managed to upload anything. It's a picture of their dining room table, everyone sitting around it, and there's Rachel, right next to my mom, with Caleb grinning, eating spaghetti. My dad's carving a roast, looking all proud. I'm not tagged, not mentioned, just the photo with a caption that says, "Family time." I stare at it, trying to figure out if it's an old picture, but then I notice the new tablecloth I got my mom for Christmas. It's brand new. My heart sinks. They're not on some trip. They're at my parents' house, having cozy family dinners, and nobody bothered to tell me. I'm still reeling from that photo of Rachel and Caleb at my parents' dining table, acting like one big happy family without me. I text my mom, trying to play it cool. "Was that picture meant for me?" No reply. I try again, more direct. "So Rachel and Caleb are at your place?" Nothing. I shoot a message to my dad, and he just sends back a winking emoji, like it's all a big joke. I'm fuming now, but I don't want to lose it over text. I call my mom voicemail. My dad? Voicemail too. The next morning, I decide I'm done guessing. I hop in my truck and drive to their house about 15 minutes across town. When I pull up, my dad's out front, watering the lawn. He sees me, shuts off the hose, and just stands there, arms crossed, like I'm some door-to-door salesman. "What's up, Ethan?" he says, all casual, like nothing's wrong. I cut to the chase. "Where's Caleb? Where's Rachel?" He shrugs, says they're inside, where they're safe with people who know how to handle things. I ask to see my son, and he scoffs, tells me I need to get my life together before I can waltz in. I'm about to lose it, but I push past him, not rough, just enough to get through the door. Inside, Rachel's in the living room, folding laundry, looking like she's ready for a showdown. Caleb's on the floor, playing with his toy dinosaurs, and my mom's in the kitchen, humming like it's just another Sunday. I ask Rachel why she lied about taking Caleb to her family. She rolls her eyes, says she never lied. I just didn't ask the right questions. My mom chimes in from the kitchen, not even turning around. "Caleb needs a steady home, Ethan, not your chaos every other weekend." My dad's now in the doorway, glaring. I look around, feeling like I'm in some twisted movie. "So you're all just pretending I don't exist?" I say. My mom finally turns, wipes her hands on a dish towel, and says, "We're tired of cleaning up your messes, Ethan. Rachel's the daughter we always wanted. You're just trouble." I'm seeing red now. I slam my fist on the coffee table, not hard, but enough to make Caleb look up, startled. Rachel steps in front of him, like I'm some kind of threat. My dad barks at me to leave, says I'm causing a scene. I grab my keys and head for the door, but not before saying, "Fine. You won't have to deal with me anymore. Good luck." My mom calls after me, "You always make it about you, don't you?" I don't look back, just slam the door and peel out of the driveway. On the way home, I try calling Rachel again, no answer. I text her, saying I want to talk to Caleb. Hours later, she replies that he's too busy and I should give them space. My parents don't text, don't call, nothing. The next day, my dad sends me a link to some blog post about cutting toxic people out of your life. I'd laugh if I wasn't so pissed. I'm not sure how long they plan to keep this up, but I'm already thinking ahead. They want to act like I'm the problem, like I'm disposable? Fine. I'm not just gonna sit here and take it. I'm not perfect, but this is next level betrayal. I've got no clue what my next move is, but I'm not letting them off the hook. They think they can erase me from the family? They're about to find out what happens when I actually step back. I'll keep you posted if this gets uglier, but if anyone's got advice or just wants to say my family's nuts, I'm all ears. It's been a week since I stormed out of my parents' house, and I'm still steaming about how they're treating me like I'm the family screw-up while Rachel and Caleb are living it up there. I decided to go quiet. No texts, no calls, no showing up to fix their Wi-Fi or mow their lawn like I usually do. I'm done being their errand boy. At first, it felt weird, like I was waiting for them to notice I'd vanished. They didn't. The only thing I got was a random text from my dad with a link to some motivational video about moving on from negativity. I rolled my eyes and didn't reply. I kept hoping for a message about Caleb, maybe an apology, but nothing. Then, out of the blue, Caleb sends me a text from my mom's phone, just a dinosaur emoji and a photo of him holding a new T-Rex toy. I text back right away, saying I miss him and love the toy. My mom jumps in, texting that Caleb's doing great, and they'll let me know if he needs anything. I wanted to smash my phone, but I just left it on read. A few days later, my dad texts, asking if I can swing by to fix their sprinkler system because it's spraying water everywhere. I ignore it. He calls the next day, leaves a voicemail, sounding annoyed. Ethan, it's a quick fix, just come by. I delete it. My mom tries next, saying her laptop's acting up and she can't log into her email. She's all sweet, like nothing happened, but I don't bite. My sister, Sarah, who lives halfway across the country and barely talks to us since my divorce, texts me out of nowhere. She says mom's freaking out because she can't get into her online banking, and dad's muttering about the sprinkler flooding the yard. I tell Sarah I'm busy, which isn't a lie. I'm busy keeping my sanity. It's wild how fast they notice when I'm not there to clean up their messes, but when I was, they never said thanks. Things start getting weird after that. My mom sends a text, claiming I promised to help her sort through some old medical bills. I never promised that, she just assumes I'll handle it. Then she tries the guilt trip. Family sticks together, Ethan, even when it's tough. I shoot back, you seem to be doing fine without me. She doesn't reply for a whole day, then sends a long message about how nobody's perfect and we all need to forgive each other. I don't answer. My dad's next, texting me about random stuff, like where I put the spare key to their shed or how to reset the thermostat. I'm thinking, dude, I haven't lived there in years, figure it out. The best part? He asks if I can check the attic for a leak. A leak. Like I'm their personal handyman. I don't respond. I'm starting to see how much they relied on me for the little things they never appreciated. Rachel even calls one night, and I pick up, thinking it's about Caleb. Nope. She says my mom's stressed and asks if I can just talk to her to calm things down. I cut her off, tell her if they want a family, they can solve their own problems. She gets mad, says I'm being selfish, then hangs up. Later, she texts that Caleb wants to see me, but I say I'll only talk to him directly, no middleman. She doesn't reply. I'm not caving, though. They think I'll come crawling back, but I'm done. I'm making a mental list of all the times I dropped everything for them, and they acted like it was nothing. They want to freeze me out? Fine. Let's see how they handle life without their troublemaker. I'll update if things get crazier, but I'm not backing down. It's been about 3 weeks since I went silent on my family, and I'm sticking to it. No calls, no texts, no running over to fix their sprinkler or reset their router. I'm done being their go-to guy. At first, I thought they'd figure things out, but now they're starting to panic. My dad's texting me every other day, asking about random stuff like how to unclog the kitchen sink or where I stored their old lawnmower manual. I leave him on read. My mom's worse. She sends these long, rambling messages about how I'm hurting the family by not helping out. One text says, Ethan, we raised you better than this. Family doesn't abandon each other. I laugh and don't reply. The kicker? Rachel texts me, asking if I can watch Caleb for a few hours because she's got a work thing. I say, sure, but it's just me and him. No family dinners at mom and dad's. She gets huffy, says I'm making things harder than they need to be, and hangs up. I text back that I'm happy to see Caleb, but I'm not playing their game. No response. Then my mom tries a new angle. She sends a photo of Caleb at their house, playing with his dinosaurs, with a caption, he misses you, Ethan. Come by. I see right through it. They're using my kid to reel me back in. I text Caleb directly, saying I can't wait to hang out, and he sends back a smiley face and a picture of his new Stegosaurus. My mom jumps into the chat, saying Caleb's in a good place, and I should let things settle. I don't answer. A buddy of mine, Jake, who knows Rachel and my mom, tells me my parents are starting to lose it. Apparently, my dad tried to fix the sink himself and flooded the kitchen. Now they're parking on the street because the garage door's jammed, and my dad's too cheap to call a repair guy. Jake says my mom's been complaining to everyone about how I'm punishing them. I tell Jake it's their mess, not mine. He laughs, but says I'm being a little harsh. Maybe, but I'm not budging. The real fun starts when my mom calls from a new number. I blocked her old one. She says she can't figure out her new bank app and doesn't want to bother Rachel because she's got enough on her plate. I just say, you'll sort it out, and hang up. She calls back, crying, saying I'm being cruel. I feel a twinge of guilt, but I'm not caving. I also stop helping with their taxes. Every year, I'd organize their receipts and fill out the forms because my dad hates it. This time, nada. My dad texts me twice about it, all caps. Where are the tax papers? I don't reply. Sarah, my sister, calls and says dad's freaking out, trying to do it himself, but he's hopeless. She tells me to help, but I say I'm done being their safety net. She sighs and hangs up. Rachel tries again, asking me to pick up Caleb from school because she's stuck at work. I say I'll do it, but only if it's just me and him. She agrees, but when I drop him off, she slams the door in my face. My mom texts later, saying I'm selfish for not helping Rachel more. I shoot back. Real families don't cut you out. No reply. I'm starting to enjoy watching them squirm. They thought I'd always be there to fix their problems, but now they're seeing what happens when I'm gone. I'm not done yet. I've got more planned. They want to treat me like the family failure? Let's see how they handle life without me. I'll update when things get messy. It's been a month since I cut contact with my parents and Rachel, and their perfect little family bubble is starting to burst. I'm not answering their calls, not fixing their sink, not even responding to their guilt trip texts. My dad's now sending me messages about stuff I haven't touched in years, like how to fix the furnace or where I put their old camping gear. I just send a shrug emoji and move on. My mom's gone full drama, texting me novels about how I'm tearing the family apart. One message says, Ethan, we're not perfect, but we don't deserve this. I don't reply. Rachel tries her hand, asking me to cover a school fee for Caleb because she's swamped. I say I'll pay my half, but she's on her own for the rest. She calls me petty, but I mute her. The best part? Caleb's school calls me because my parents forgot to pick him up after a half day. I grab him, take him for burgers, and text Rachel that she needs to coordinate with her support system. She's furious, says I'm making her life harder. I just say, not my problem, and drop Caleb off. Then I get a weird letter in the mail, not an email, an actual paper envelope. It's a notice about my parents' car loan, and my name's still listed as a co-signer from years ago when I helped them refinance. I'd totally forgotten about it, but there's my signature, tying me to their financial mess. I'm not about to stay on the hook for people who act like I don't exist, so I start digging. Turns out, I'm still linked to their bank accounts too, because I set up their online banking way back when. Their passwords? Still the ones I made. I log in and see they're behind on a few bills, nothing major, but enough to get a warning from the city. I start pulling my name off everything. I call the bank, fill out forms, and email back and forth. It's a hassle, but I'm done being their backup plan. I send my parents the paperwork to sign me off the loan, with a note, sign this, or the bank will keep bugging you. My mom texts, is this really necessary, Ethan? I don't answer. My dad calls, leaves a voicemail about urgent forms, but I ignore it. They sign and send it back. No note, just their names. I drop it at the bank. Done. Here's where it gets good. Without my credit backing them, their loan rates go up, and they're hit with new fees. My dad texts me, all caps, why are our payments higher? I leave him on read. Rachel tries to pull a fast one too, texting about an old joint credit card we used for house stuff when we were married. I always made sure the payments went through, even after the divorce. Now it's late, and there's a fee. She asks me to cover it. I send her a meme of a clown and say, handle your own circus. She's livid, says I'm immature. I don't care. I'm watching them scramble, and it feels like justice. They thought they could ditch me and keep their perfect life? Nope. I've got more up my sleeve, and they're not gonna like it. I'll update when the next shoe drops. Things are getting real messy now, and I'm kind of enjoying the chaos. I've cut my parents and Rachel off completely. No more fixing their problems, no more paying their bills, nothing. My dad's losing it, sending texts about how their electric bill's overdue and the city's threatening to cut them off. I guess they thought I'd keep their autopay accounts running forever, since I set them up years ago. I log in, delete my payment info, and cancel every auto payment tied to my name. My dad sends a furious message, you're crossing a line, Ethan. I reply with a thumbs up and block his number for a bit. My mom tries calling from a friend's phone, saying she can't figure out the utility website and Rachel's too busy to help. I tell her, you've got this, and hang up. She sends a long text about how I'm abandoning my responsibilities. I don't respond. Rachel tries to guilt me into picking up Caleb from a school event because my mom flaked. I do it, but when I drop him off, I tell Rachel to get her act together. She slams the door again. I'm getting used to it. Then I find another surprise. My name's still on an old savings account my parents opened for Caleb when he was born. I helped set it up, so I'm listed as a co-owner. I call the bank and remove myself, which means they can't touch it without jumping through hoops. My mom freaks out, texts me that I'm stealing Caleb's future. I reply, it's his money, not yours. Talk to the bank. She doesn't. My sister, Sarah, calls from out of state, saying mom and dad are falling apart. Dad broke the garage door trying to fix it, and mom's too embarrassed to ask neighbors for help. Sarah begs me to step in, but I tell her they made their bed. She says I'm being cold, but I'm past caring. Jake, my buddy, tells me Rachel's mad at my mom for dropping the ball with Caleb's pickups, and my dad's yelling at everyone because their bills are piling up. I laugh and tell Jake it's their problem now. The real kicker comes when I get a call from Caleb's school. They say my parents missed a deadline for some enrollment forms I used to handle. The school's confused because nobody's answering their calls. I tell them to remove my parents as emergency contacts and only call me or Rachel for Caleb's stuff. Rachel texts me later, saying I'm making her look bad. I say, maybe talk to your new family about stepping up. She doesn't reply. My mom sends a desperate message, Ethan, we're struggling. Family means helping each other. I don't answer. I'm done being their scapegoat. They thought I was the weak link, but now they're seeing how much I held together. I've got one final move planned, something they won't see coming, and I'm almost excited to pull it off. They wanted me gone? Let's see how they like it when I'm really out. I'll update when it all goes down. This is it, the end of the line. I'm done caring about my parents' drama or Rachel's schemes. After months of their nonsense, I wanted them to feel what it's like when I'm truly gone. They spent years treating me like the family failure, humble worry. I'm not going back. They're calling every night now, begging me to fix their messes, but I'm letting it ring. It started with a group text from my mom, her, dad, and Rachel, listing stuff they need. Yard work, bank login help, Caleb's school project. No punctuation, just a mess. I didn't reply. My mom's voicemails swing from angry to teary. Dad's all tough guy at first, then pleading. Ethan, we need you. Rachel texts about Caleb, always with a jab, like I'm the problem. I ignore them. Sarah, my sister, calls, saying mom and dad are a wreck and I should talk it out. I tell her they threw me under the bus, so I'm done. She doesn't push. Caleb's school calls again. My parents botched another form, and nobody's picking him up on time. I tell them I'll handle my days, but Rachel or her new family can deal with the rest. Rachel tries to guilt me, says I'm making things hard. I stick to my guns. I'm here for Caleb, not her. My parents show up at my apartment one rainy night, unannounced. Dad's mad, mom's dramatic. I block the door. Dad tries to push past. I push back. Mom cries, says I'm breaking her heart. I say, you broke mine first, and shut the door. The calls keep coming, Mom, Dad, even Rachel, every night. No apologies, just don't abandon us. I let them go to voicemail. Here's the final blow. I wiped my name off everything. Every account, every form, every login I ever set up, gone. I told the school to call only me or Rachel for Caleb. I blocked my info from their bills and loans. I sent my parents a letter. I'm out. Use my name again, and I'll report it. Dad yelled. Mom sobbed, but I didn't flinch. It took months, but I'm free. I see Caleb on my terms. Park trips, ice cream, just us. Rachel tries the For Caleb card, but I tell her to lean on her support system. My mom's last voicemail was about family being forever. Dad's was just, please don't leave us. I didn't pick up. They thought I'd always cave, but I'm not their fixer anymore. They wanted me out, and I'm out. Real life, real consequences. That's the deal.